All right, what's going on, NavalX community, friends, family, partners, whoever you are out there? I'm really excited today to bring you some awesome conversation about the adaptive acquisition framework. What is that? I don't know, but I have some experts who are going to tell us what that is. Today, I've got Dr. Marina Theodotou, who is the Director of Learning Experiences with NavalX, who's on rotation from DAU, Defense Acquisition University. We've also got Mr. Robert Borka, who's the Director for Naval Acquisition Policy. And lastly, but certainly not least, we have Miss Lisa Haney, who is the Deputy PEO for Acquisition Management Plans and Strategy at Program Executive Office C4I. Super excited to have all these folks here. I'm going to turn it over to Marina because she's going to tell us why we're here and what we're going to talk about. Marina, over to you.
Thanks so much, Matt. It's always a pleasure to be on a Mohawk Matt live event. So super excited to be here along with Robert and Lisa and to share with you an exciting initiative that we have put in place to demystify the adaptive acquisition framework. So for those of you, I'm sure you've heard of the AAF, the Adaptive Acquisition Framework, which is transformational in changing the way we do acquisition, changing it from the complex and complicated process to 6 pathways that are helping POs and PMs and the workforce to think differently and think critically about how to apply acquisition programs. At DAU, we've partnered with OSD to actually roll out the Adaptive Acquisition Framework website over a year now, and you can find that on DAU. So if you Google AAF, you'll be able to find the website that Matt just shared, as well as we did over 12 webcasts that go through each one of the different pathways. And we have DAU faculty and OSD leaders talking and describing and discussing what all that means. So you can actually find the webcast here. But today, we're focusing on what the Navy is doing to demystify the adaptive acquisition framework. And in a minute, I'm going to turn it over to Robert, but I wanted to give you the background. As Matt mentioned, I'm rotating from DAU to NavalX. And the first day I got there, Robert said, hey, we need to do something about the adaptive acquisition framework. How about, and Robert, I'm going to turn it over to you so you can share the initiative.
Hey, good morning, NavalX fans, friends, family. It's awesome to be here with everybody and Matt, nice and shiny and upright on the Mohawk today. So awesome. You know, the AAF, it is definitely a change in the way we do business. It is trying to make more flexibility for the program managers to think a little differently on how you can execute your programs, align with change and really pace the threat and bring capability to bear at speed of relevancy. So one of the things we're doing here in ASNRDA, in the acquisition side, is how do people use the AAF? You know, what are the steps to use the AAF? What does it mean from a policy perspective? What does it mean from a data perspective? How do I track costs? What are the requirements in terms of statutory requirements, regulatory requirements? So we kicked off this effort in the late fall, trying to bring a team together, and not just a team of the people of the Pentagon. We wanted a team of folks who live and breathe and work this every day to get the insights of those who have to execute. So, you know, we brought in folks like Lisa. We have folks from NavAir, NavC, the Marine Corps, from the budget side, from the data side. So this is just the start of what we're kicking off to kind of help, again, demystify the AAF. It's not scary. It's very flexible. It's very usable. But we wanted to start looking at how in the Navy we can use these policies to really, again, speed of relevancy in these programs. So right now, the Navy is rewriting its acquisition policy, the SecNav 5000, to adapt and include the AAF. You'll see that out here in the next 60 to 90 days coming out. But Lisa's here today from our friends in PEOC4I. And Lisa led our first team looking at use cases across the acquisition pathways. So I'm going to turn it over to Lisa to talk about what amazing work her team has done and what we have for you today. That's the real thing. We have something to help you. So Lisa, over to you.
Hi, good morning from San Diego, everyone. I thought I'd take a minute to just explain my program executive office before I start talking about the Acquisition Pathways Playbook and the AAF, so that you all can understand why these new pathways are such a good fit for my organization. So PEOC4I stands for Command, Control, Communications, Computers, and Intelligence. We don't build aircraft, we don't build ships, we build the systems that go on those platforms, and these smaller systems are much more conducive to pursuing these adaptive acquisition framework pathways.
Uh-oh, looks like we
Oh,
lost.
no.
Looks like we lost Lisa. But while we get Lisa back,
Yeah.
what we wanted to share is that Lisa has been leading a team of members that from the Department of the Navy, as well as DAU. We had DAU faculty come in, and also experts from MITRE that came in and worked together to put these use cases together. And there's Lisa.
All right. I apologize. I dropped off there.
Back to you, Lisa.
Okay, perfect. So as I was saying, our organization has much smaller acquisition efforts than ships or aircraft, and the AAF gives us a lot of flexibility to take advantage of non-major capability acquisition pathways that are better suited to our acquisition efforts. The POC4I Acquisition Pathways Playbook actually initiated as a tool used by some of the staff as a way to keep track of the new acquisition authorities as they became available. And then with the advent of the full AAF, we decided to turn it into a tool that could be used by the program offices and the APM specifically to understand where their acquisition effort might fit within the AAF. So as part of the Pathways Playbook, we have a chart that walks through the specifics of your acquisition effort and helps you to narrow down the options in terms of the adaptive acquisition pathways. So then you have several COAs and can make a determination on what the best pathway is for your effort, whether that's a software acquisition pathway, one of the middle tier acquisition efforts, or a more traditional major capability acquisition effort. Also, within our organization, we created the use cases that we've been discussing to give examples for each of the pathways to help the assistant program managers and the program offices better understand what the options are that are available to them. And then we've also been working on some, post pathway determination execution efforts, just to give the program offices material to work for, sample briefs, templates, best of breed documents as we move along these pathways and get good examples, so at least folks can understand these different deliverables and briefs for when they go to their decision authority for determination. So currently within PEOC4I, we have 5 efforts that have transitioned from ACAT efforts to be software acquisition pathway. This includes a former Maze ACAT 1 automated information system program, several traditional ACAT programs, and actually one RDC rapid deployment capability effort. Those are all following the software acquisition pathway now. We also have 3
All right, so we lost Lisa again. Just kind of her thought. So as you heard Lisa saying, PEOC4I has transitioned Maze programs RDC programs, into the software pathway, moving agile and fast. They also have 3 middle tier of acquisition programs that are stood up, with 2 more on the way. And they have a wealth of programs they've transitioned over. And I will say they are on the leading edge of looking at the flexibilities that the AAF provides, and we're leveraging that information and that lessons and learning they've done to put into these playbooks, to these use cases. So they are there as a learning effort. But we're not stopping there, right? So at some point, we're going to continue to, you're going to see additional information coming out on data, contract costs. How do I look at funding? How do I track cost across a capability that may use multiple pathways? So PEO C4I has done a fantastic job looking, and they're probably the PEO that's got the most diversity in acquisition pathways right now. And we are so grateful for the effort that Lisa and the team has done. So Lisa, again, thank you for leading this effort. But we're not done. We're not done. We have a lot more coming. And we're going to continue looking at use cases from all of our PEOs, all of our syscoms, and our direct reporting program managers. We want to hear from you. What is working well? What is not working well? What do we need to go attack? And as Hondo Gertz used to say, is how can I be the linebacker and block and tackle for you? That's what this effort is about, is to show information and show we're here to help you guys out. And Lisa is a prime example of a PEO and acquisition folks who are living that dream. So very much appreciative, and we're grateful for partnering with NavalX and with DAU. So much knowledge, so much information at DAU. Again, like Marina said, there's the AEF website. Things are going to be changing on there as well. Guidebooks are going to be coming out from OSD. We're going to be taking the defense acquisition guidebook and transitioning it into a whole new way of looking at acquisition. So more to come from this effort. But standing by for any questions and thoughts. And Lisa, we're glad the C4I folks let you back on. Got to do that little poke there. Got that little poke.
I know it's embarrassing. I'm the weakest link apparently this morning.
Well, I think this is all great information.
Do you have any questions?
Right now, we don't have any questions that came in at the moment. If anyone's watching and has questions, please ask away. We'll stay on here for just a couple minutes. But I want to add one thing is, while we see if anyone has questions out there, go to the NavalX website. You can get to the playbook that they did for C4I. And I will put all the links in the comments after we're done here. If you don't get your question answered now, if you're watching this later, throw your question. Robert's an active LinkedIn user. So's Marina. We'll get Lisa on there as well, and we'll make sure any questions you guys have are being answered. We do have one here. It's coming from Roy Nanku. It seems like a one-stop shop playbook in order to eliminate waste, researching and determining how to do things. How many different directives and procedures were used to develop this playbook? And Lisa, you're off mute if you want to talk.
Yes, good morning. The playbook utilizes all of the OSD level policy, so all of those individual policies on the adaptive acquisition framework for the pathways, and references the supporting processes and functional areas. And I believe all of those references should be in the playbook. But
yeah, and additionally, on the AEF website, on the AEF website, you can see all the policies there. There's links to all the policies on there. I'll also say that on my side, just because I'm still somewhat old school, I have a single PDF that has merged all the policies into one PDF. So I'm always happy to share. That being said, just because you have it today doesn't mean new things aren't coming along. So that's one of the reasons why I recommend folks go to the AF website to find the policies as they're updated and current. Real quick, Matt, for folks who do have questions and you can't get up, you're just seeing this later. Very easy. My email, robert.borka@navy.mil. I will be happy to answer your question. And if I don't know the answer, we'll get you to the folks who can help you. That's what we're here to do. We're a connector for you. Just like NavalX is a connector out to everybody else, we're a connector here on the acquisition policy side.
That's exactly, Robert. Thanks for pointing that out with the Adaptive Acquisition Framework website. It's being updated as the policies are being released. So that's a reliable source. So definitely recommend going there. And it also includes additional resources and updated resources for the big picture adaptive acquisition. Definitely recommend to folks to take a good look at the playbook that Lisa and her team developed. It's there's a lot of great information there. It's very well put together, and it can be useful to your program. And just like Robert said, we have additional use cases coming out in the next month. And so be on the watch out for those. And we'll come back to you, Matt, for more live videos to roll those out.
Yeah, definitely. And as we close, Lisa, is there anything else? Are you okay with people reaching out to you to learn the lessons that your team learned? I think she might be frozen.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, that's live video. That's what happens sometimes.
Such is life.
Yep, such is life. There is a question here, Robert. I don't know if you're okay answering or talking to. Is the Navy looking to fund for technology that tests material for quality?
So there's a lot of potential technologies out there that people are looking at bringing in. What I would say in that type of situation is, we have a lot of effort going on with ONR and with DAS and RDT&E. I'd be happy to get you in touch with our leads over there looking at tech transfer and the PIAs and the CRADA efforts. So we'd be more than happy to get you at least linked in and talking to the right people. More than happy to help.
Fantastic. Thank you there. And Lisa, since you're back, and before we lose you again, is there anything you want to close with or share?
One thing I did just want to say that the break did give me an opportunity to think of is that it is also possible to use multiple pathways. So if you're sitting there thinking, I'm working on a major defense acquisition program, we're going to do things the way that we've always done them. The pathways could be for you too, whether you have a specific aspect of your program that presents unique technical challenges. You can break that out and deal with that through an acquisition agility effort, or potentially, a rapid prototyping effort. Or if you're a hardware intensive system with a lot of software, your program doesn't have to follow the same pathway for both of those efforts. You could actually develop your software using the software acquisition pathway and merge it in with the hardware program. So that is one thing that we hadn't discussed previously. So there are multiple options to even mix and match within the adaptive acquisition framework pathways in a way that best suits your overall acquisition effort.
Fantastic. That's great to hear, Lisa. And are you okay with people reaching out to you if they have questions to learn from the lessons that you guys learned?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. We're happy to do that. And as I think we've mentioned, we have information on the NavalX site, internal to the NavWar family. We're also posted on the Program Management and Competencies Mill Suite site. So we do have information in different places, and I believe we're also going to work with Mr. Borka's team at DAS and APB to make some of our artifacts and lessons learned available.
Fantastic. Marina, Robert, anything to add as we close here?
Thank you for the opportunity as always. Lisa, thank you. Marina, thank you. Matt, double thanks for time today hosting this. Again, reach out. We're here. Reach out. We can help you, but we can't help you if we don't know you need help.
Yep, and Robert gave his email, so you got it right there.
That would be Mohawk Matt at Navy.mil. Yes, let's change that.
That would be the day. You think I could get Mohawk Matt as a Navy email address?
We can try. Need a new SAR form. New SAR form.
Let's do it. Marina, anything else?
Yes, just thank you, Matt. Thank you, Lisa
We have
and
technology.
Robert. It's always a pleasure
That's for sure.
to be here and to work with you, and again to bring these tools. Just like Robert said, we're here to help, and just reach out. We have a lot of experience and expertise at DAU to help you. We have the tools, and we're more than willing to understand what your needs are so we can meet them. Thank you.
Definitely. Well, hey, thanks everyone for tuning in. Again, if you're watching this now or later, throw your comments or questions in the comments. Reach out to Robert's email. Reach out to NavalX. We'll make sure to connect you with Lisa and her team or Marina. More to come with AAF and what it does and what it means for the Navy. And obviously, it means a lot more for the whole DOD. We're coming at it from the Navy and Marine Corps angle. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll talk to you next time. See ya. Thanks, everyone. And everyone that's online, stay online. Robert, Marina, and Lisa.